Namaskar everyone. Today in this particular lecture we will be talking about the introduction to financial system, as in what do we mean by financial system. This particular lecture will cover the introduction in brief. In the coming lectures we will be talking about each and every aspect or each and every concept of financial system in detail. So today in this particular lecture we will be covering the introduction of financial system, as in what do we mean by financial system, functions of financial system, and history or evolution of Indian financial system in particular. So we will be discussing in general what do we mean by financial system, what are the functions of financial system, but in particular we will be discussing about the history of the Indian financial system or the evolution, what were the important phases or what were the important dates in Indian financial system. Okay, so financial system, as we define it, it is a set of institutions, instruments, markets and financial services. So all the set of those institutions which deal with money, the monetary instruments, the markets wherein the buying and selling of monetary instruments in particular, that we need to take care. So if I am buying and selling goods, that is not maybe directly the part of financial system. Indirectly somewhere it is a part, but then directly it is not the part of the financial system. So if I talk about this particular term financial system, that simply means that something which is related to money or monetary aspects. So those institutions which deal with money, like banks and non-banking institutions, the instruments, monetary instruments like shares, debentures, your FDs, RDs and all, markets, your secondary and primary market like stock market, your open market, this call money market, all these markets, your derivative markets, and financial services. So very clearly financial services like hire purchase, leasing, factoring, merchant banking, so which deals with financial or monetary instruments and given by financial institutions. So a combination of all these, four things, specifically financial institutions, the institutions again could be banking and non-banking, the financial instruments, the financial markets and the financial services. The combination of all these is known as a system. It is a well defined structure, we can say, or well defined system, we can say, as known as financial system. It promotes savings and channels them to their most effective use. So basically the job of financial system, and we'll cover the functions in the next slide, we'll get to know that the major function is channelizing the savings to the areas where it is most required and where its efficient use can take place. It consists of individuals, the savers, intermediaries like the institutions, markets and users of saving like the investors. So if I buy a share, I am the one who is saving, maybe because I have that extra money with me which I will be lending to the institution when I am buying the share, and the shares are like issued by the companies, so they are like who are in need of shares. Intermediaries could be the stock market or the brokers, anyone. It functions as a mediator between savers and investors. So I have some money in extra with me, saved with me, and I need to invest it in some profitable venture, and there are people who are in need of money. So I will give, I will lend this money to them. My purpose is that my money should grow, and their purpose is that they are in need of money, right? So this particular connection or bridge is being formed by the financial system. It facilitates the flow of fund from the areas of surplus to the areas of deficit. So as I said, I have that money in extra, and that particular company or that particular project is in need of the money, so they don't have it, they are in deficit, and I have it in extra, so I lend them that money. It is concerned about the money, credit and finance. So specifically, as I defined in the first point also, when this prefix finance is there, or this financial word is there, it simply means we are talking about money, credit or finance. So anything which is related to money or monetary aspects will be covered in this, nothing outside that. Functions of financial system. So as we have already discussed, it links the savers and the borrowers. It helps the investors to monitor the performance of the investment. So I can always very easily find out where my investment is heading. So it's giving me return or not. To achieve optimum allocation of risk, that is to reduce or distribute the risk. Now how is it done? We have so many options, we have ample amount of options when an individual can invest. So I can always choose out of them. I can make a portfolio out of the available options, and I can always distribute my risk or reduce my risk, so that there are various options. We can discuss them in detail in the coming lectures, but then unless there is no set system for these things, we won't be able to reduce the risk. It makes available price related information. Now what does that simply means? Like say for example, I have bought some shares of any particular company. I can always, anytime go and, find out the price of the shares of that company any day, any moment in the stock market. So I just have to log into my account of NSE or BSE, and I can always, or the broker with which I have the account, and I can always get to know I don't even have to log in at times. I can, readily look it for it on the television or the news or anywhere, any software or any platform. So the price related information is widely and easily available. It helps in promoting the process of financial deepening and broadening. Now this is again a very, very important aspect. Financial deepening here means that particular section, what is the contribution of that particular section in the whole fundraising. Say for example, if I talk about the national income of any particular nation, and if I talk about one particular section, say for example agriculture, so what is the role of agriculture, or the contribution of agriculture in the total national income? Similarly, if I talk about the financial system, what is the role or what is the contribution of that particular maybe sector in the whole financial system, right? So what is the contribution in terms of money? And broadening here means, financial broadening means how many types of different types of options are available, or how many varieties of options are available for me. So for example, how many different types of institutions are available for me to invest, how many different types of instruments are available for me to invest. So that is known as broadening. So this is the financial system only which helps me, achieve both these objectives. So if there is a particular system of, monetary transactions, then I can always try to deepen it, I can always, broaden it in that sense. Importance of financial system. Now why is financial system very important? So it fulfills the requirement of funds for business sectors. So when businesses, they are in need of money, they can always, approach this financial system, and they will have to actually ultimately, directly or indirectly, if they are in need of money. So they can always borrow maybe some from some bank, or they can always float their shares in the market. Two broad categories, there are numerous, but I'm just talking about the two broad categories. So they can go in for debt, or they can even go in for equity, but in both ways they have to enter the financial system somewhere. It leads to economic growth by allocating the money to those who can better utilize it. Very important. So I may have some money extra with me, but I may not be able to utilize it in that efficient manner as some business house or somebody who's an expert can do that. The best example for this is your venture capital. So somebody has a very good idea, but somebody has someone who has a good idea might not have that much amount of money to invest it, but another person might have money but may not have a very good idea. They can always collaborate. These two people can always come, and they can utilize that money in the best possible manner. It provides a ready market for financial securities. So there is always a ready market wherein the buying and selling of these securities can take place. It leads to capital formation. When some business borrow money, or when some business floats shares in the market, it leads to capital formation. It enables investment by business sectors. We have already discussed it. Encourages savings and hence take back money into circulation. So if the financial system of my country is that competent, if that it is that efficient, that it provides me with many attractive options of investing, then I will definitely get motivated to invest. So if I don't get any good options, I might keep it safe with me. I might feel it better to feel better that I should keep that money with me instead of investing it in the market. But if I get lucrative and attractive offers or investment options, I will definitely invest that money in the market. And when that take place, when I invest my money in the market, the money comes back into circulation in the economy. And this is a very important rule, or a very important fact, that the more the money flows in the market, or the more the money exchanges hands from one person to another in an economy, the more economy will grow. So this quickly we can see that this is like the whole system, we can say, of flow of funds from the people who have it in extra, they are the lenders, to the people who are in need of the money, who are the borrowers. So they could be same. I could be opening up an FD sometime when I have money in extra, and I could be taking up loan on the other side when I am in need of the money. So both ways, I can be on both the side. I can be a lender at times, I can be a borrower at the other time, right? So this is, and now there are two channels. This is a direct finance, and this is like the indirect finance, and this is like the direct finance. So this direct finance here means I directly lend, I buy shares or I buy debentures, and through the financial markets I directly lend them. And the indirect channel is that I deposit that particular savings to some banking firm, and then that the borrowers they take loan from that banking firm. segments of financial system, there are two very important segments, I mean two broad categories of financial system, organized and unorganized. So organized here is like whatever transactions are taking place in this particular organized sector, the government knows about them. So government, you know, can, when the government knows about it, the government has that control over them. So government can control the flow of fund in this particular segment, right? And wherein a whole system, a proper system is there. Unorganized is where the transactions are maybe not known to the government, or maybe the government doesn't have that much of, you know, control over those transactions. So the organized sector constitutes of regulators, financial institutions, financial markets and services, while the unorganized one, the money lenders, local bankers, sahukars, zamindars, sarafs, pawn brokers, etc. So one more thing which is a very important point of distinction between the two is that there are no set rules in the unorganized sector. There is no set you know, maybe standards or no set rates, wherein in the organized sector we have that standard rates. You know, so if I talk about the home loan, or if I talk about any personal loan, the rates would be approximately equal for all the institutions and all the markets in an organized sector, whereas in the unorganized sector it could be tailor-made. Anybody can charge any rates. As we have discussed, financial system regulated by any government body like Ministry of Finance, Reserve Bank of India, Security Exchange Board of India and other regulatory bodies, this is like IRDA, NABARD, etc. It is known as organized financial system. So the government has knowledge and control over the transactions in this segment. So the part of this particular segment is like banking and other financial institutions. Standard rates and procedures are followed. Compulsory involvement of a regulator, mediator or a third party. So this is a very important point, that compulsory involvement of a third party is there. Unorganized, vice versa. Financial system which is not formal or organized, no direct government regulation is there, no standard or systematic rates and procedures are followed. However, they may be indirectly governed by rules and regulations. Of course, I mean nothing illegal as such is being done, but then so it is that in that way it is controlled by the government, but no direct control of the government is there. So authorities are not fully aware about or does not have direct control over the transactions taking place in such segments. Unorganized financial system consists investment companies, chit funds, money lenders, sahukars, zamindars, as we have talked about, and so on. So in the second part of this particular lecture, we will be talking about the phases, different phases of the evolution of Indian financial system. By that time, I would request you all to please go through the functions and the importance. We will see you in the second part of this lecture. Thank you so much.